Sit back and throw one back with your pinky in the air and a middle finger to the world. And join me, the eclectic gentleman Stephen Watts, and the rest of the Gentleman Bastard Brigade as we look back on this day in pro wrestling history. But before we do, put that drink down, like, share, and subscribe, and without further ado, let's get our wrestling nerd on. It is February 20th, and we're going to start off as we always do on a positive note. That's right, these are your pro wrestling birthdays. 1921, the original Nature Boy, Buddy Rogers. 1943, Japanese legend, Antonio Inoki. 1957, Don Hastings. 1969, Luchadora, Esther Monroe. 1976, Gail Kim. And last but not least, 1985, Canadian standout, Phil Atlas. And I am happy to state we do not have any pro wrestling deaths for February 20th. So let's jump right into the meat and potatoes. That's right, your pro wrestling history highlights for February 20th. 1978, at Madison Square Garden in New York City, Bob Backlund defeats superstar Billy Graham with an atomic drop to win the Worldwide Wrestling Federation heavyweight title. In a bit of poetic justice, Graham's foot was on the bottom rope for the pin, but the referee didn't see it, as Graham used the ropes for leverage in his title win over Bruno Sammartino. 1984, the WWF run Madison Square Garden, selling out the building in advance, so a closed-circuit broadcast was set up at the smaller Felt Forum in the Garden complex. The show is notable for Andre the Giant defeating the Masked Superstar. This was Superstar's last appearance in Madison Square Garden, although he would return years later as Demolition Axe. 1989, the NWA held their Chi-Town Rumble pay-per-view at the UIC Pavilion in Chicago. In the main event, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat defeats Ric Flair for the NWA World Heavyweight title, starting their amazing... In the main event, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat defeats Ric Flair for the NWA World Heavyweight title, starting their amazing three-match series. That same night in 1989, the WWF run Madison Square Garden. This show is notable for Big John Studd defeating Akeem via countout. This was Studd's final Madison Square Garden appearance. 1992, WWF Intercontinental Champion Roddy Piper defeated WWF World Champion Ric Flair in a steel cage match in Niagara Falls. Of course, a non-title match. And last but not least, 1995, Sid Vicious returns to the national wrestling scene for the first time since the infamous Hotel Brawl with Arn Anderson in England, appearing on Monday Night Raw in Macomb, Georgia, as the new bodyguard for Shawn Michaels. Those are your pro wrestling history highlights for February 20th. I'm the eclectic gentleman Stephen Watts, and we'll see you tomorrow.